It's time for watercolour card number 3. So I've done a drawing, got a little cottage going on this time, and you can just see I've put some orange and lemony yellow there. So it's looks red, but that's the way that the light works when you put a cool colour and a warm colour. So a little bit of orange, a little bit of lemon yellow for the lights in the window. Once they've settled down, I've just dampened all of the background. You can see where I've gone around the house again, like we've done on the previous cards. So it's now sort of settling into the paper, and I'm just going to start adding some colour. Now the last two have been quite bluey violet. You can see that I've gone a little bit wilder now. I've added some pinks. Crimson, any sort of pinky red you have in your palette will give you the same effect. This has got some blue in it as well, but it's more on the pink side. You can see how much difference that is to the previous two cards who had quite bluey, cool backgrounds. This is just really warm looking background. Surprising what you can use for cool looking paintings is a warm colour, but crimson is actually quite a cool red. Have a little look at the colour theory video that I'll just pop up above for you to have a little look at that if you wish, to try and get your head around colours. So we've got a cool red here, making an interesting background. Remember, we've got some pinky red and some blue in here, and although it's got a little bit away from me there with a big puddle, so I'm just going to slurp that out. I'm really enjoying the way that the colours are splitting. So I'm now going to add the lovely salt that we're getting in the habit of using on these cards, and that will also help the paint to split even more, separating pigments as they dry on the paper. So I've got some blue now. Remember the orange we put into the windows? Well, orange and blue are complements. So I'm just popping some blue onto the side of the house to try and start modelling the house so you can actually see what it is. It's no longer a flat piece of paper. We're going to try and bring this to life, and bearing in mind that the sky is quite dramatic with all that salt effect you can see in the background there. So I'm just going to pop in the side, the front of the house, and then that will help set the sky off, and then we'll move on from there. I'm just popping in some background darks now using ultramarine blue and alizarin crimson are such a good combination because when they bleed together you've got this beautiful violet which you can see in the background. So I'm using that background to my advantage. If I want something to be a little bit grayer, I might add a pop of the orange in, or the red you saw earlier in my palette, just to go against that violet and just sort of dull it down a little bit almost. Sometimes dull colours can make your other bright colours sing out of your painting. So let's get some darks on, see if we can bring it to life a little bit more. So here we go with some lift out. I'm using an angled brush. I've just squeezed it out with my fingers. I'm just going to see if I can lift off some areas rather than just putting everything on. Sometimes this works really well and sometimes you have to wait a little bit for the paint to just sink in a little bit more. It's worth experimenting with lift out techniques. You don't need an angled brush like this. Any brush that's got a little bit of stiffness in the bristles, nylon brush will work as well. Just lift paint off and that will let you see the colours underneath. Equally, you can use this brush to drag some of that damp paint up into the background as well. So have a little experiment with your lifting out techniques and that will help add more interest to the flat areas in the background. So we're now looking at what colours we've got in the sky and how we transfer that into the snow area. So we don't want it to be a huge jarring difference. So first of all, I'm going with the yellows that are in the building, in the windows, and adding a yellow path. So that's my first link to the house, is yellow in the path. Guess what? Snow doesn't have to be white to look like snow. So I'm linking my ultramarine blue down from the background into the snow area. Of course you can have it paler than this. This is just how I'm feeling today. And the blue and the yellow tones there are very nice. They work well as complements too, just like they do on the house. You can see I'm trying to suggest there's a hill in between us and where the path starts. So it's beginning to come to life, giving us a little bit of depth. If something just runs over the edge you're trying to create, then just take it off. Now for my favourite way to use lift out techniques. Let's get some smoke coming out the chimney. Remember, my brush is being swished out and squeezed, not rubbed dry on a towel. Use it a few strokes to lift paint, then swish it out again, squeeze it and carry on. If you keep working at it, you will end up with a nice plume of smoke coming out of the chimney. Pinks and reds are the worst colours to lift, and alizarin crimson is what is known as a staining colour, so it can be quite difficult to lift it off. Don't overwork it, take your time and enjoy the impression of a lovely plume of smoke coming from your chimney. Now get your burnt sienna, any sort of browny reddy colour will do, plus your blue to make the darks that I'm using now. Darks are really handy for adding details and bringing things to life, especially on buildings. Don't overdo it. I may have overdone it already. You can see that's quite a harsh line. But feel your way through the painting, put on the detail you want, and don't worry what other people think. Just make it work for you. Let's see how this goes. Fun time, mask off the side of your painting if it's close to anything else. Get a toothbrush and splatter white paint over your painting. I'm now taking away the edges there to protect the other paintings, and you can see the effect. Now I'm just going to go through my cards, different ways of using and creating your own greetings cards. This section is on the previous two videos, so if you want more details, pop in and have a look at those.